you're going to have results next week with your specific person if you change from needing them to wanting them. Because how do we feel when we need something, right? How do you feel when you absolutely, utterly, undeniably need something? You're going to say that most of the time we feel a little desperate towards that thing, right? But what about things that you want? And I'll explain this more because this goes much further than just you at this current moment needing or wanting things. It's going to have a bunch of ripples in your reality as well. And this actually comes from how we talk to other individuals in our reality. And this is how you're going to get results within a week from this idea. So think about how you talk to people when you need something, right? Stuff that you need, how do people react? You usually feel that you have to justify, right? And I use that because that is a very intense word when it comes to manifestation. The more we try to justify something, so basically, try to state as to why we want it, sometimes that actually causes us to have a lot of limiting beliefs because we can't really justify things we need or want if it's something much greater than what's happening in our environment. And I'll use like the idea of your salary as an example. If you state, I need $50,000 a year to live a life, how do you feel when you talk to people and what kind of responses do you get? You'd say you get very positive responses, right? Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, I need that too. What if you tell them you need $5 million a year? How do they respond to that? People go into a tizzy with that idea because they're thinking you don't need that, right? But you kind of do need that because in this reality, you are meant for everything you could ever desire and ever want. So, but what if we then switched it? And again, it's a very simple idea, switching it from needing to wanting. What if you just wanted something? What if you just want your specific person? What if you just want $5 million a year? Do you feel that same sense of justification that you need on whatever it is that you want? And how would you react towards something that you want as compared to need? When you want something, it's very positive, very abundant. You strive towards it. You feel very happy and loving along the way. What about things you need? Now, this takes a less than positive turn. And in coaching sessions, anytime someone needs something, it's almost like they unintentionally produce a barrier between themselves and that thing. Because when you're needing that thing, you become desperate, right? You feel you can't receive any positive emotions or you can't feel normal until you have achieved that thing. But what about wants? You can want Chipotle for lunch right now. You can want something else for lunch, dinner. You can want a free coffee today or want, it doesn't even have to be a free coffee. It could just be a coffee, right? In that case, wanting is striving towards what we desire in a positive and abundant way. And then you no longer have the impact that other people are having on you in your reality because you don't have to justify it. And I've talked about this a few different times on manifesting back someone you've been with before. But just think about how your spoken language towards other people begins to change as you want something as compared to need something. You don't have to justify to other people why you want your specific person. You don't. Like you never have to and you never will. If you want something, then want something. But as I mentioned, when it's a need, we feel a massive need to justify it, we basically have the need to justify the need, right? But life is about getting exactly what you want. And I know you'll probably have people make this statement to the contrary, or maybe you're even thinking about that right now from past family members saying life isn't about getting what you want. But it kind of is, right? That's all that life is about, right? In a loving and abundant way, to have abundance and positivity and everyone receive exactly what it is that they desire. That's that desire that Neville Goddard talks about. Like that's the wanting. And I know, obviously, we could dive further into the concept of desiring or wanting as like inherently can make us feel like we don't have something. But when we need something, that's even I was gonna say worse, but even less positive when we need that thing. So I want you to think about this in this aspect too right now. And I know I kind of touched on this idea, but it is really important to know. Think about the concept of needing, right? How how do you feel when you need something? It's like you produce very less than positive emotions, and you feel as if you whatever it is very difficult to achieve, and you must have any means necessary to kind of get it, which can sometimes feel very positive, but it puts us into a state of feeling as if we can't feel good until we get to that thing. And most of us would say that. Maybe you're even thinking that right now, because I've had a lot of people in coaching sessions talk about that concept where they feel they can't feel happy, they can't feel abundant, they can't feel loved until they get their specific person. But again, I know that you know a lot about law of assumption. So think about how that impacts the law as it is. We're supposed to assume as if we already have what we want. So if we're feeling like I can't be positive or happy until I get this thing, how do you think that's going to impact? And I think you know exactly where I'm going here. It puts us in a state of lack, right? A state of really needing something but unable to get it, or that it's really difficult to achieve, right? In the same way, think of if at the end of the month you need an extra $1,000 for your bills. How does that make you feel? Instead, what if you wanted an extra $1,000 for extra stuff, right? How do you feel approaching both of those aspects? And I know, because I can instantly, when I make that statement, I know you can as well, you know the difference between wanting $1,000 for maybe a fun vacation or a concert or something like that, but then needing $1,000, your whole internal state begins to change and alter to match something a lot more desperate. And so that's what we need to think about when we're manifesting our specific person. Needing them, how does that make us feel? Wanting them, how does that make you feel? When you want it, and again, don't think too deep on this, because wanting doesn't mean we're not assuming as if we already have it, because that's kind of the whole process. And which also I could dive into here as well, because we know we want to assume as if we already have what we want, but that doesn't always mean you're going to constantly feel as if you already have it, if that makes sense. Because think about other things that you're going to live in your reality. Think about, and I use this example, so I'm not going to use, I would normally say like playing the piano, but I'm going to say like maybe learning French, right? You will want to learn French, right? And you may not always feel as if you already have, but your internal state is going to match the version of yourself that already knows French and again, my past video talks about this, focusing on the gain, so what you're doing positive rather than the gap. But I just wanted to make this video today because you can have results. Again, I've seen this happen within a week of changing this mindset, changing from needing, changing that to wanting, and seeing much greater effects because of the impact that the idea of wanting something has. Wanting as compared to needing. So just think about that and tell me below. So comment down below what you want from your specific person. It can be anything that you want. You don't have to justify it. Again, want. What do you want? And think about next time someone asks you about your specific person, how would you respond wanting that thing and not needing that thing? But comment all of your wants. If you want marriage, if you want the honeymoon in Hawaii or whatever you want, the kids, write all of your wants down below in the comment section. Again, remember, you can send me or put any questions you have down there as well, or about this idea, because I know this is kind of a little bit of an abstract one. So let me know any questions, comments you have on that. Remember, you can also send me a personal question at kyleaugustcoaching.com. Where you can also sign up for one-on-one coaching if you did want to dive further into any of these aspects. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. Make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video as well, and I'll see you in the next video tomorrow.